Have you ever wondered why so many of us crave attention? Why we check our phones 100 times a day, hoping for one more like, one more compliment, one more sign that someone out there sees us, values us, admires us? It feels innocent, doesn't it? After all, what's wrong with wanting appreciation? But somewhere along the way, admiration stopped being a simple human desire and became an addiction. A hidden addiction that shapes how we think, how we behave, and even how we define who we are. Think about it. We live in a world built on admiration. The more people like you, follow you, or praise you, the more worthy you appear to be. Society rewards visibility, not depth. Charm, not truth. And slowly, admiration becomes our currency, the thing we chase, measure, and sometimes even lose ourselves for. But what does admiration really give us? At first, it feels like warmth, like being seen after years of invisibility. Someone notices your talent, your beauty, your voice, your presence, and for a moment, you feel alive. You feel real. It's like a drug, isn't it? One dose makes you feel powerful. Another makes you feel special. But over time, you start needing more and more to feel the same. That's the nature of addiction. Tolerance builds, and what once thrilled you barely satisfies you anymore. One compliment isn't enough. One success doesn't feel complete. You start chasing the next source of admiration, a bigger audience, a louder applause, a higher number. And the tragedy is, the more you chase admiration, the less genuine it becomes. People stop seeing you for who you are. They see you for the image you've created. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to fall into that trap online? We start curating our lives, showing only the moments that bring admiration and the victories, the smiles, the achievements, while hiding the struggles, the doubts, the flaws. And with time, we begin to confuse the image we project with the person we actually are. We stop living authentically and start performing. This addiction to admiration can start early. A child praised constantly for being the best, the smartest, or the most talented learns to tie their self-worth to approval. They start to believe that love must be earned through performance, that if they aren't impressive, they aren't enough. So they grow into adults who keep performing in relationships, at work, online, always chasing the next dose of validation. It's not their fault. They were trained to believe admiration equals love. But here's the paradox. The more we depend on admiration, the more fragile we become. Because if admiration gives you worth, then rejection can take it away. A single criticism feels like an attack on your identity. A lack of attention feels like emotional withdrawal. You start living in fear of being unseen, forgotten, replaced, and that fear drives you to seek more admiration, to do whatever it takes to stay visible. Have you ever caught yourself thinking about how others perceive you, even in small, meaningless moments? Maybe you adjusted your tone, your clothes, your words, not because it felt right, but because it looked right. That's how deep this addiction runs. It's no longer about self-expression, it's about presentation. We mold ourselves into what we think others will admire. And the more we do it, the less we recognize ourselves. There's a strange emptiness that comes with constant admiration. On the surface, people may think you have it all: attention, praise, success, but inside it never feels enough. Because admiration, unlike love, is conditional. It depends on performance. People admire you for what you do, not for who you are. And the moment you stop performing, their admiration fades. That's when the panic sets in. The need to reclaim it at any cost. Have you ever seen someone who can't stop talking about their achievements, even when no one asks? Or someone who posts constantly, needing reassurance that they're still relevant? That's the subtle cry of admiration addiction. It's not arrogance, it's hunger. The hunger to be seen, to matter, to feel that their existence has weight. The irony is that the people who seem most confident, the ones who bask in admiration, are often the most dependent on it. Their self-worth is borrowed, not built. It exists only as long as others feed it. And when that admiration disappears, even for a moment, they crumble, because beneath the confidence lies a fragile truth. They don't truly know who they are without other people's approval. Have you ever wondered why some celebrities, influencers, or public figures self-destruct at the height of their fame? They have everything: admiration, attention, success, yet they feel empty. That's the cost of living off external validation. The higher the pedestal, the further the fall. When you define yourself by admiration, you stop being a person and start being a performance. The hidden addiction to admiration is powerful because it hides behind something positive. It's easy to justify. We tell ourselves we're working hard, we're pursuing excellence, we're inspiring others, but underneath it all, there's often a quiet desperation to be admired. To hear people say, "You're amazing," "You're special," "You're different." And while those words can lift us for a moment, they also trap us in dependency. Psychologists describe admiration as a social drug, one that activates the same reward centers in the brain as physical pleasure. When people praise us, our brain releases dopamine. It feels good. But when that admiration fades, dopamine drops and we feel withdrawal. So we chase the next hit. More attention, more praise, more applause. And without realizing it, we build our lives around feeding that need. But what's the danger of this addiction really? On the surface, it might seem harmless. Who doesn't want to feel admired? But the deeper danger is what it does to your sense of self. You start living for others, not for yourself. You make choices not based on what's meaningful, but on what's impressive. You stop listening to your inner voice because the outer voices are louder. Have you ever looked back on something you did, maybe a post, a choice, a decision, and realized you didn't do it because you wanted to, but because you wanted others to see you a certain way? That's the moment you realize admiration can control you. It whispers, be more likable, be more successful, be what they want to see. And slowly you start disappearing behind the mask. The truth is, admiration and love are not the same. Love sees your flaws and stays. Admiration sees your image and claps. Love grows deeper with time. Admiration fades with novelty. But our culture has blurred those lines. We think being admired means being loved. And that confusion keeps us hungry. Hungry for validation that never truly nourishes us. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be completely unseen? To live without anyone's praise or attention? Would you still feel valuable? Would you still know who you are? If that question scares you, you're not alone. Most of us have tied our identity so tightly to how others see us that we can't imagine existing without it. The hidden addiction to admiration also damages relationships. When admiration becomes your fuel, people become your mirrors. You start valuing those who flatter you and ignoring those who challenge you. You choose friends, partners, even careers based on how much validation they provide. But true connection isn't built on admiration. It's built on authenticity. And authenticity can't survive where image is everything. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to maintain an image? To always seem confident, happy, successful. The pressure to be admired can make people live in constant performance mode. They fear vulnerability because vulnerability might make them look weak. They fear honesty because honesty might make them less perfect. But ironically, it's vulnerability and honesty that create real connection, not admiration. The more we chase admiration, the more disconnected we become from others and from ourselves. We forget how to be genuine, how to be imperfect, how to be real. We measure our lives in applause instead of meaning. And that's a tragedy, because admiration doesn't fill the soul. It only decorates the ego. But the addiction can be broken, or it begins with awareness. Ask yourself, when I share something, am I doing it to express or to impress? When I achieve something, do I enjoy the experience or just the recognition? When someone praises me, do I feel grateful? Or do I feel dependent on their words to feel whole? The cure for admiration addiction isn't to reject admiration altogether. It's to stop depending on it, to find worth from within, not from applause, to learn that self-respect feels deeper than validation, and that being seen for who you are is far more valuable than being admired for who you pretend to be. It's not easy though. Owaiska, letting go of admiration means facing yourself, your flaws, your emptiness, your need for approval. It means accepting that not everyone will like you, and that's okay. It means realizing that admiration isn't love and popularity isn't peace. But once you accept that, something beautiful happens. Freedom. The freedom to be honest. The freedom to be human. The freedom to exist without performing. Have you ever met someone who doesn't seem to care about attention? Someone who's calm, grounded, content, just being themselves? They may not be the loudest in the room, but you can feel something real in them. That's what it looks like to live without addiction to admiration. Their confidence doesn't depend on applause. Their value doesn't rise or fall with other people's opinions. They've found something deeper, self-acceptance. Imagine what your life would feel like if you no longer needed to prove anything, if you could share without seeking approval, if you could succeed without showing off, if you could fail without shame. That's the opposite of addiction. That's peace. The hidden addiction to admiration is one of the most powerful traps of our time, precisely because it doesn't look like a trap. It looks like success. It looks like beauty, like charm, like achievement. But beneath it lies emptiness, dependence, and exhaustion. So, the next time someone admires you, pause for a moment. Appreciate it, but don't depend on it. Ask yourself, if the admiration disappeared tomorrow, would I still feel proud of who I am? Because if your answer is yes, then you've already broken free. True power isn't in being admired. It's in not needing to be. It's in living so honestly, so deeply, that even when no one's watching, you still feel whole. So let me ask you, are you living to be admired or are you living to be real? Because one path leads to applause that fades the moment the lights go out, and the other leads to peace that stays long after everyone stops clapping.